So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Jason before he comes up. So Jason Carter is the chair of planning and participated in the center's programs in Liberia, Egypt, Myanmar, and the West out of apartheid. In addition to his work at the Carter Center, Mr. Carter serves on the board of a number of civic organizations.
For many of us, it's not just professional, it's deeply personal. When I think about the impact of these policies, I think about my own family. My son's caretaker and her family is among those who are affected and is facing the very real possibility of losing their protected status, where they will have to return back to Venezuela. I share this story not because it is unique, but in fact, it is all too common. I know many of you here today carry your own personal stories of family members, friends, neighbors, or colleagues who are living in the uncertainty of this moment.
Gratitude to Jason Carter for gracing us today with his presence and for sharing such wonderful and inspiring words. So thank you for being here with us today.
And I will tell you, I know that the Refugee Act of 1980 was in my grandfather's heart. And one reason, really for two reasons, but one of them, the first, is that it comes from his faith. That is such an important part of who he was and how he acted out in this world to put that faith into action. And if you think back, at least in our traditions, in the Old Testament and the New Testament, all of the most powerful stories about God's work on earth are refugee stories.
One who came in the 1980s, Dr. Kelly came in
There's some pieces of this you just can't control, this life. And I don't know what this country will do when the most vulnerable people who come from around the world show up at our door. I know what we've always done before, and I know what we should do. And I think that if we continue to understand who we are, we continue to put our fundamental principles into action, the fundamental identity of this country, the fundamental identity of people like Jimmy Carter and Jimmy Carter's heart and the folks in this room, then I know how we will treat them. And I just appreciate the idea that we can get together to reaffirm those principles in this moment.
Time for questions, and we'll close out our presentation today and have an opportunity to.
But right now, like you're telling all these refugees, you can't come because, sorry, we got some more work to do, but you gotta wait in your vulnerable countries and wait for us to welcome you again, even though you had your ticket ready to come to Wednesday. I don't understand how I would feel about this. It would have been devastating for my family. Then we got a call from the embassy, you got like 3 days to leave. Your tickets were ready, but because of national security, we couldn't tell you. We arrived in the United States right after 9/11, picked up by the airport with a sign. Everyone's like, don't lose your eye-on bag, wave them, so they recognize you. And we came to Clarkston, Georgia, where,
I'm really excited about this conversation. Had a lot of time to prepare, and you're in for a treat. These are some